Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I'm your host, Eric Smith. Today is April 28th, and it's been a couple of weeks since I posted any new reviews. And that's because, one, I read a very old book that is very difficult to find, so I didn't see the point in reviewing it if no one can buy it. I think maybe you could find it on eBay or used on Amazon, but it's going to be a difficult book to find, I think. Then I read another book that I just didn't feel like reviewing. It didn't thrill me, so I didn't see the point in reviewing that one. I started another book that I will be reviewing, but I set that aside to read this. My nephew picked it up for me, and as I said, it's April 28th, so Avengers Age of Ultron opens in theaters in just a few days, so it seemed like the perfect time to review the brand new Avengers novel, The Avengers, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Dan Abnett. It's published by Marvel. There's some cool artwork on the back there. This has just been out for a few weeks, and so it seemed like the perfect time to review this one. Now, I spent some time considering what I was going to say as far as the synopsis of the book goes, and I decided if it's on the back of the book or the inside flap, it's fair game. So anything I say in the synopsis, you're going to be able to find it there. So, and if it's not there, I'm not going to mention it. So here we go. Basically, what you have here in Everybody Wants to Rule the World, The Avengers, you have 5 alpha level threats happening all at the same time. Now you've got Captain America in Berlin fighting Hydra. At the exact same time, Hawkeye and Black Widow are in the Savage Land fighting AIM. Iron Man is in Washington, D.C. fighting Ultron. Thor is in Siberia going up against Dormammu. That's how I say it. And Bruce Banner is in Madripoor with the High Evolutionary. So all of this is going on at the exact same time. And there's an even bigger threat rearing its ugly head. So our heroes have to not only deal with the situations they're in at the moment, but they have to figure out what this bigger threat is and how they're going to stop it. In a nutshell, that's what you have with the Avengers, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Now, I really enjoyed this book, for the most part. I'll get to that shortly. This is an incredibly action-packed story. It is almost non-stop. I don't think our heroes get to take a breather at any point. Every once in a while, they stop fighting and have a strategy session or something, but even that, things move along at an incredibly fast pace. The writing is fine, it's crisp and clear, and as I said, it keeps things moving along. To me, it seems a touch generic. At no point did it show me that this was Dan Abnett writing it. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Some authors, the reason you read them is because you like their style, and typically I like Dan Abnett's style. I just didn't see it in this particular story. Again, not necessarily a bad thing, just a thing that I'm mentioning. I should probably mention this does take place in the comic book universe, the Marvel 616 as it's known. So it's not the cinematic universe, so there are differences. It's just to be clear, the comic book universe. My favorite portrayal in here is Iron Man. He's such a smart ass, whether he's dealing with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Nick Fury or in the middle of a fight with Ultron. He's just got those witty comments, those snarky comments going on. I really like the way he's portrayed in here. Everybody's pretty true in their portrayal. Captain America's Captain America. Thor's Thor. Bruce Banner is afraid of getting angry. Which brings me to one of the things that bothered me, and that is, this is an Avengers novel. To me, that means it's a team story. But, little spoiler here, the Avengers do not assemble until the very end of the book. Everybody's off on their own adventure. So there's almost no interaction between the characters. There are some guest stars. I'm not going to mention who they are, since they're not mentioned on the back or in the inside cover flap. But Captain America, for the most part, he's on his own for most of the book. Hawkeye and Black Widow down in the Savage Land, they're together, but for a lot of what they're doing, they're separate. They're off on their own tangents. Iron Man, by himself. Bruce Banner, by himself. And I want to see the Avengers interacting together. To me, that's a big appeal of the team. It's not just being able to see all these heroes in the same story. It's seeing these heroes interact with each other. Especially like Hawkeye and Captain America have a very adversarial relationship in the comics. You've got Captain America, sort of the perfect soldier, the Boy Scout, and Hawkeye, the ex-criminal. And even though they have respect for each other, and I suppose they're friends, they very often butt heads. And people like Tony Stark, the privileged rich playboy, up against Thor, the egotistical god. Couple of huge egos, and they tend to clash. Again, they all have a mutual respect and a friendship, but they do sometimes rub each other the wrong way, and that's the kind of thing I like to see. Again, it's a good story. It's very action-packed. The characters are well rendered, but I would have very much liked to have seen them interacting more. And the other thing, sort of along the same lines, is the reason I say Bruce Banner is in mad rapport with the High Evolutionary is that it's mostly Bruce Banner in this book. Again, tiny spoiler, the Hulk doesn't show up till the very end. And I want to see the Hulk, If it's an Avengers book and the Hulk's going to be in it, let's see the Hulk. Banner's a fine character, but there's only so much of the guy trying to stay calm that I'm interested in. I want to see the big green rage monster. It's just a couple of things. I mean, that's stuff that might not bother you, but just a few things that kind of, I hate to say I felt let down. I guess just didn't quite meet my expectations. What I assume I'm going to get with an Avengers novel is the Avengers working together. And I didn't feel that I got that. So I'm going to jump right into my rating. So because of those two little things, this does not get a perfect 5. It gets 4 out of 5 Captain America shields. There you go. You can see the one it didn't get sort of drawn there. But 4 out of 5 Captain America shields. Because again, it is an exciting story. I love the characters. It's well written. But I personally would have rather seen them all together for more of the story. I do like all the villains that are in it. Dormammu's always cool. The High Evolutionary, he's like the Dr. Moreau of the Marvel Universe. He's got his human-animal hybrids, which are always really cool characters to me. I've always been a huge Ultron fan. At least once he became more humanoid looking. The original look of Ultron is very weird. The Savage Land is always fun. You got your dinosaurs. I would have liked to have seen Kazar, but they already packed enough guest stars in here. I guess they weren't going to throw him in. And Hydra is always fun. I guess, I don't know. if that's the best way to put it, but I like Hydra. I like AIM. As goofy as the AIM costumes are, they're just sort of they've become iconic. So I wouldn't want to see them change. I like the beekeeper hats, as I call them. And then the big bad. It's pretty cool. And it ties in with things that have been going on in the Marvel 616, in the comic book universe. There was something that's said there at the end that I was like, oh yeah, I know about that. I know exactly what he's talking about. So that's always cool. Again, I love the giant playground that anyone has when they're writing Marvel stories. I do have a question about Bruce Banner, and I don't want to say anything specific about this, so it's I'm not sure how to ask the question. There's something going on with Bruce Banner and how he attempts to stay calm. Yeah, this is not going to go over well. If anybody can figure out what I'm talking about because they read the comics, let me know in the comments below. If you want to know specifically what I'm talking about, ask me in the comments below. The comments, as always, will be open for spoilers. Just please be polite and put a spoiler warning. So if you want to know what the hell I'm rambling about with Bruce Banner, ask me in the comments. I'll tell you specifically what I want to know. Because I'm just curious if this was taken specifically from the comic books or if it's something that was added to the character in the book. Again, it's Bruce Banner, something to do with him when he's trying to stay calm. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But if you know, or if you want to know more, comments, that's what they're there for. So yeah, I think I've covered just about everything. So much going on here that I don't want to talk about because you got to read it, and I do recommend it. I mean, I did give it 4 out of 5. I've always loved the characters. Iron Man was my favorite character, comic book character, for decades. Absolutely loved him. And I like that, the look, the coloring on that armor. It's just interesting to me. You know, it's a darker armor. I like that, even though it's not my favorite version of the armor. I like the version from the 80s, the really sleek, I guess less realistic version, but I don't know, maybe it's because of what I grew up with. But Hawkeye, I've been a fan of Hawkeye since his first appearance. I used to have Tales of Suspense, where Hawkeye made his first appearance as a bad guy. And that's when Black Widow was a bad guy. She and Hawkeye were working together to take down Tony Stark. Thor, always been a big fan. Cap, I mean, they're just great characters. Marvel does such a good job. Excuse me. Actually, I do some writing for fangirlmagazine.com. I'll put a link in the description below. And I've started a series called DC versus Marvel. The first 2 have been posted. In the first one, I pit the 2 comic book universes against each other. In the second one, I talk about the movies, DC and Marvel movies, and who wins. And I'm also going to do TV, books, and video and tabletop games. So 3 more installments coming up, and anything else I might think of. But check that stuff out if you're a fan of comic books. And maybe you want to argue with me there. Maybe you don't agree with who I think comes out on top. But I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both Marvel and DC, but I really like Marvel a lot more generally. Although I'm trying to be unbiased in my essays for Fangirl Magazine. Okay, I'm getting way off topic. Avengers, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Dan Abnett. I say pick it up and read it. You know, once you've seen Avengers Age of Ultron 3 or 4 times in the theater, you can pick this up and get a little more Avengers action. I really did like it, despite those couple of things that bothered me. As I said, I'm going to show this off because I used a template to get them nice and round, but I do like my Captain America shields there. So 4 out of 5 for this book. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, I will have a link for the book in the description below. And as I said, I'll have a link for fangirlmagazine.com in the description below. You should check out that site. It's got all sorts of cool stuff. It's just geeky heaven. All sorts of news and essays and reviews and just all sorts of stuff over there. So you should check that out too. And for that matter, listen to Fangirl Radio. It's on Jackalope Radio. It's on iTunes. It's on SoundCloud. It's archived there. There's a Fangirl YouTube channel, and we've been posting the Fangirl Radio show on YouTube along with some other stuff. So check that out. I'll put a link for anything I can think of in the description below. Lots of self-promotion there. But this beautiful book, fun, exciting, action-packed book. Pick it up, read it, enjoy it. See Avengers Age of Ultron. I assume it's going to be fantastic. Marvel and Disney seem to know what they're doing. And that is way too much rambling for this episode of the Low Budget Review Show. So until next time, read more books.